Today's question comes from Thissmithy Manga. Just starting out with my first DSLR, thinking about getting a smaller mirrorless camera for some street photography, for candid shots, and to make some videos. What would you recommend? Could recommend a lot. Let's dig in.
Bad times turn to good memories. Smile. Even when I'm gone and you remember me. Smile. Good times never fade away. Smile. Even if I'm not what you hear.
So I really like where you're going here. I love to see this. A lot less of the bickering about what brand loyalty you should have, and just the realization that no, I got a DSLR and I'm using it for this over here, and then I'm gonna get another tool to use for this over here. I think you're on the right path, and I always recommend anyone, like, listen, try to get a different system than what you already own if you can. And I get it, you know, if you own a ton of lenses with Canon and your second camera is Canon, you only benefit from that. But it's so sweet to own so many different systems, and you learn so much more juggling the different systems. But for street photography, he wants something smaller. Of course, you know, that's the advantage of mirrorless. They can be a lot smaller, and they can be a lot more inconspicuous for street photography. And really, when you think of street photography, that's one of the things people tell you is get you a small camera that won't draw attention to you. So with that in mind, there's a few things that pop out, and I don't know your budget. I think budget is important because, you know, these cameras, the sky's the limit. You can spend 400 or you can spend $4,000. But a few of the cameras that come to mind for your particular use case is something like the Ricoh GR. And this is a little camera that's everyone's loving, by the way, because it's simple, got a really simple design, really minimalistic design and feature set, and it's just like black. Like there's no attention this thing could ever draw to you, and it's relatively cheap. There are a ton of reviews out there on it. It wouldn't be my first choice, but if you're budget conscious, I think the Ricoh GR is kind of dope. And for street photography, I think particularly it follows that trend of a 35mm focal length, and that's what the Ricoh GR has, and you can't change that. So be mindful of that. Next on the list would be something like a Sony a6000. And depending on your budget, I would go a6000, and then you can step up. If you've got more money to play with, you get the a6300, and if you're just a baller, then you get the a6500. And of course, you know, when you threw that little thing in there about video, the Sonys have amazing video, and you know you're going to get a solid performer there if it doesn't overheat with the 63 and the 65. But that design is very solid. The a6000, it's very small, very compact. May not be the best looking camera in the world, but I think it's fine. And then from there, you've got the Fuji, the X100 series. I've never really shot with. I've held a few of them and I've played around with them. Very great cameras, tactile, the way they feel. But I can't really speak to the intricacies of that camera because I don't own one, and I haven't shot extensively with one. But a ton of folks who I respect loves the X100 series, and of course, based on your budget, you can go with the X100. The first one, you can go with the S or the T or the F. Interesting fact, the S, well, the S stands for the second in the series, the T stands for the third, and the F stands for the fourth. I think the fourth is about $1,200, and that guy shoots the 4K and all the madness that you would want. Other than that, you know, there's something like the Olympus, and the Olympus, the Micro Four Third World. What I think is dope about the Olympus, something like an EM10, which is currently my street photography and travel camera, is it has IBIS, which is important to me as a street photographer. Because here in New York, you know, when I get out of work, when I do a lot of my street photography, if it's not the summer, it's already dark by like 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So for me to have something like IBIS that can give me that can let me keep a relatively fast shutter speed, but still keep my aperture kind of sort of open and not to worry about camera shake, that's important to me. And it might be to you, maybe it's not. Maybe, you know, you're only doing street photography in the daytime, so you don't need something with IBIS. But I think those are some really good choices. And of course, you know, tons of reviews. You know, on this channel, I've got the review for the EM10 Mark II. You can check that out. There's tons of reviews out there on the A6000, tons of reviews on the Fuji X100 series, and the Ricoh GR. A lot of highly respected photographers have given that some reviews as well. So you got a lot, and I think to help you sort of narrow it down and figure out which way you should go is your budget, right? Think about your budget, and then when you get your budget, next should be, okay, what kind of focal length are you looking for? That'll help you sort of dial in how much it'll cost when you go with that system, because you know your lenses, you got to account for your lenses as well. Are you going to be shooting something like a 24-70, a fast zoom? Or you're going to be shooting like a 35mm prime, a 50 prime, or a 24 prime? Like, that's up to you. I hope I gave you some good direction on the video. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you hit the subscribe button, there's that little bell next to it that lets you know when we push out a video, and you get to know instantly. My name is Ramon. I'm out of here. Peace. If I had to describe Lifestyles Defined, I would say it is a dream come true to have a platform where we can talk about the things that we love, and we can share with people who also love the things we love the way we love, and just have conversations that matter and go back and forth and grow as a community. It's been a pleasure. It's been a dream, and I just want to thank everyone that's involved for rocking out with us.